Chapter 4, Think and Grow You. Quit holding yourself back. We often protect our self-esteem to avoid failure. The pain of past losses control our decision-making, so we avoid risk. We stick with jobs we hate because we're afraid of failing. We attribute losses to external events. We hesitate to act because we're unsure. We don't start the business. We don't speak up. We're not excited. Instead, we feel guilty and do just enough to get by. We overthink and don't ask for help. It takes more energy to hold ourselves back than to launch. It's like holding a beach ball underwater. It's strenuous. If we keep holding ourselves back, we never get what we want. Take a step, figure it out as you go. You are better than you think you are. So, action step. What is holding you back? Make a list. What is this creating in your life? What is the next step forward? Pick one item on the list and work on it for the next 30 plus days. And so I go through a story in here where I was a new entrepreneur. I was struggling, financial advising, sales, spending my time talking people out of doing business with me. I was pretty pathetic, living from paycheck to paycheck, and I had like 8 appointments scheduled in one day, and I needed every one of them to close to pay my bills, and everybody canceled. Like, they didn't reschedule. They like disappeared, right? They like went into some witness protection program. And I used to drink a ton. And back then, like, that would have made me go to the bar, right? All afternoon. But I had a mentor who said, you know what? Before I do any goal setting, I sit down with a pad of paper and I write down what's holding me back. That's where I start. And that whole afternoon with the coffee and a big pad of paper, I wrote down what's holding me back. And I wrote down this long, exhaustive list. And I was like, OMG. All the flaws, all the stuff that was going. And you would think that that was going to be, depressing, but it was actually invigorating because I'd finally met the enemy, and it was I. And I looked at that list, and it was, it wasn't overwhelming. I'm like, I got to pick like, one thing. Like, okay, I'm going to get my dress figured out the night before. I'm going to quit hitting the snooze button. Like, there's just some small things I was doing. There's some big things on there, very personal things as well, but it energized me. And I'm like, all right, if I can get out of my way with this list, my life is going to change. And so I've done it for years. And so make the list. It's super powerful.